A planned strike by public sector worker unions slated for Tuesday has been put off for 24 hours more to allow leaders deliberate over recent attempts to address their grievances.
The coalition of some 12 unions, including teachers, civil servants, doctors and nurses, threatened the strike over what it describes as delays by government to transfer a portion of its members' monthly pension contributions into a private account to be determined by them. NAGRAT President Kwesi in an interview with Joy News said though they have seen some letters from the National Pension Regulatory Authority directing the Comptroller and Accountants General to pay the contributions to their private fund managers, they are not convinced. He says leaders of the coalition, known as the Forum, will meet today, Tuesday, on whether to go ahead with a strike or not.
The 12 labor unions include the Ghana Medical Association, NAGRAT, CLOSAG, TEWU and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers embarked on strike over the same issue in October 2014. Government, however, dragged the unions to court. Both parties later agreed on an out-of-court settlement, which was later accepted by the High Court. By the ruling, which is effective April 1, 2016, government is supposed to transfer 5% Tier 2 monthly deduction directly to custodian banks and also ensure that the National Pension Regulatory Authority transfer funds currently being held in the temporary pension fund account at the Bank of Ghana. The unions say they are yet to see government implement any of those decisions. The union served notice earlier they will embark on strike from Tuesday, November 15. President of NAGRAT, Christian Adaipoku, says though they have made some headway with negotiations, they will still not rescind their decision. He explains why.
We have seen letters that have been written by the National Pensions Regulatory Authority asking Comptroller not to pay any money to their account again, but redirect everything to our custodial account. We have also seen a letter that they have written to the fund administrators asking them to take over the administration of the funds to make sure that they run. But it's not enough yet.
With these letters you are seeing, aren't you satisfied?
Not at all. We expect to see a letter from Ministry of Finance. That is the final authority that can instruct Comptroller and Accountant General's Department. We expect to see that instruction. And we also expect to meet and discuss how they are going to transfer the money already collected, and which is in the TPFA, so that we can have a holistic management of the scheme. The unions have decided to meet on the 16th, because the deadline is 15th. Exactly. So on the 16th, we are going to meet to assess the situation. And if it merits that we call for the strike as we have planned, we will go ahead with it. Tomorrow is the deadline to see that the first tranche is paid. And tomorrow is 15th. So by close of day tomorrow, we expect that the first tranche is paid into the accounts. That's the first thing. But that is not the end of the dispute.
So if you have this first tranche paid by tomorrow, what is the next step?
Still, the outstanding issues are still there. And so we have indicated clearly that we will meet on the 16th, that is a day after the deadline, to assess the entire situation and see the way forward. But let me say that we are not yet satisfied yet. We are not yet satisfied because we have not received what we really wanted.
The unions are expected to meet later Tuesday to discuss the way forward.
The Women's Situation Room Ghana says it has deployed 120 focal persons to key hotspots across the 10 regions of Ghana to monitor and also report on threats and incidents of violence in these areas to facilitate what they call swift dispute resolution before, during and after the 2016 general elections.
According to the group, initial reports received so far have centered around low-grade conflicts between supporters of the two major political parties, the NDC and the NPP.
The Situation Room is a women peace-building mechanism that mitigates conflicts before, during and after elections on the African continent. Ahead of this year's polls, the Women's Situation Room Ghana has deployed some 120 trained personnel to all 10 regions to identify and report early warning conflict signals to the group for swift resolution with stakeholders.
What we have launched today, we are calling the early warning and the early response mechanism, which is what we are explaining, that we know that there are warning signs on the ground, things that are happening that can suggest that there can be violence during the elections. And we are putting the system in place. So we have 96 focal hotspots that we have kind of developed. And that we develop through synchronizing the various hotspots that all the stakeholders have. The EC have theirs, the police have theirs. Because we cannot cover the whole, all of the hotspots, we have synchronized and have identified 96 of those hotspots. And for those hotspots, we have trained 120 individuals who we have assigned to those spots. So they are watching.
What do you mean?
We've actually taken them through training. So mediation skills, identifying some of these signs. And when it happens, what should you do? How should you report it? So they have a template, a reporting format, and now we all know WhatsApp. So now it's by WhatsApp that they send the information to our hubs, and then they move it down. So when they identify these things, we pull them together and pass them on to the eminent women who will decide or give us directions as to how to respond to them.
According to the director of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service, who is also an eminent woman on the group, the police has been in close collaboration with the Women's Situation Room to ensure the elections record very minimal disputes.
Talking about elections and in collaboration with Women's Situation Room, I know basically that the police and for that matter security organs are very, very objective when it comes to citizenry issues. But our collaboration now is to ensure that there is total peace. The eminent women have created a desk for that matter, giving one to the police, and we are working with them, ensuring that there will be peace before, during, and after. And the issue is, if at all there should be any issue of violence, when it is reported to the eminent women, the police are there quickly to respond to it and then take it to the appropriate quarters where it will immediately be investigated. We are not leaving any stone unturned. We just want to ensure that the citizenry are at peace totally before, during, and after. We want to ensure also that everybody, citizens of Ghana, are one.
Some eminent women shared their thoughts with Joy News.
Vice President Kwesi has told the people of the Upper West region not to allow themselves to be fooled by promises of the New Patriotic Party and other opposition parties in the country.
Well, he says the NPP and the other opposition parties are only making promises to woo gullible voters into their fold. And he was speaking in Wa, from where Rafiq Salam came through with the following report.
Vice President Kwesi Emisa Ata first point of call was at Keleo, where he met traditional rulers and supporters of the NDC. Acting president of the Keleo traditional area, Gilina Badianan Sanyala, did not mince words on where he wants the pendulum to swing to in the December polls.
We know the president is already endorsed by God, and God is in his own way knows the right person, and he has already endorsed our president for the next generation.
Vice President Emisa Ata appealed to the people to vote massively for President Mahama and the party's parliamentary candidate Alban Somana Kinsport Babwin.
The people of Kaleo and the people of Nadoli, they have a gift in Ghana and they don't realize it. So I've come here as my first step in Upper West to tell you that this man standing by me is the most valuable member of our party. must make sure that it goes back to that parliament, to lead that parliament in the next 4 years to bring development to our country, to bring development to your constituency.
At Bulengi, the vice president paid a courtesy call on the Bulengi Traditional Council before holding a mini rally for sea of party supporters. He cheated at MPP's Nana Addo policies of one district, one factory, one district, one dam as not realistic, saying it is only intended to woo global voters. He called on the people not to allow themselves to be fooled by the MPP's promises, but rather vote massively for the NDC to continue its good works.
So it's NDC that has a record of development. The other parties didn't have development as their agenda. They had other things as their agenda. But they have seen the work that the NDC has done in these last 8 years. First under Professor Mills, and then in the last 4 years under President Mahama. Now, so they also now want to add development to their agenda. But it is not natural to them. So they think that development is just going to announce projects to the people. We have a different idea. We come to forums such as this one to get the chiefs to tell us what their people want. We get our party people to tell us what is needed. We actually travel to the places to see for ourselves what is needed. That is why I'm here, and the president too will come to this region in the next few days to engage in consultation with the chiefs to get to know firsthand what they are thinking about. So our development plan will take into account the needs of the community, the needs that the leaders have said the people need. We don't just announce projects in Accra for everybody in the country as our opponents are doing.
Earlier, he visited Loro, where he was installed as a sub-chief under the stool name Dondolena. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wa.
Well, so that'll be it for the news. As always, please let's know what you think about the stories you've watched, what's also in your mind on our WhatsApp platform. 0568 100,000 is the number.
Yeah, small Dubai is on my mind. We will talk circle when we're doing the newspaper, so stay right there with us. We will share something with you
very soon.